The Descent Part 2 is a monster horror sequel. This story takes place a couple days after the first film, where a search and rescue team is looking for the missing girls, but unfortunately for them, they went to a completely different cave, so the search and rescue team is at the wrong cave. And from here, we encounter a little weird writing, as in the first film ends with the girl escaping, but she didn't really escape. She was knocked out and she dreamt it and she's stuck in the cave. Well, they kind of go back on that, and the second film starts with the girl escaping. And because of this, the police find her and they decide to retrace her tracks to find the missing girls. So it's the girl that escapes, and the search and rescue team goes back down into the cave, and it's the same plot. They have to fight the humanoid cave dwellers, and basically they're trying to find the girls, but they're all dead, and that's the gist of the story. So my review for The Descent Part 2, well, unfortunately, this one isn't nearly as good as the first Descent, and it's because of a couple things. First off, in the first one, it felt like, even though it probably wasn't real, but that's just how good it was, when they were doing the freestyle climbing in the cave, it felt intense. It was just stressful to watch, you know? There was none of that in this, but the big takeaway, the big thing that they failed on in The Descent Part 2 was the lighting. The cave was like dark in the first one, and they used like their flashlights or the torch or like the little green light, or just the lights actually illuminated things, and it was these colors, and it felt like they were really in a cave. And the blood pit, there was none of that in Descent 2, and it just felt like when they was in the cave, there was a natural light for some reason, which wasn't in the first one. So, with that being said, that was the big things I think took away from the second one. Now, the good thing about the Descent 2 was the shit cave. They like, for some reason, fall in this shit toilet. You have to watch it. And the part where she has to cut the hand off was pretty extreme. I liked it. Some of the practical effects were pretty good, but the blood just wasn't as good as the first one either. It just didn't look as good. But yeah, that's my big takeaways from The Descent Part 2. So my ratings for The Descent Part 2. Watch value 5. Practical effects 6. Costume design, I can't remember what I gave the other one. I think it was like a 7. I'll give it a 7 again because it was the same thing. Gore, I'm gonna tone it down to a 5, even though there was the hand part. The blood didn't look as good. Scary, a 1. Acting, like a 5. The girls from the first one killed it. Writing, I would say like a 4, because the beginning didn't even make sense. Directing, gonna have to say like a 4. I mean, with the lighting and everything, maybe that's production. Maybe I should add a production section, but that'd be for a different movie. Regardless, just the directing didn't feel as strong either. Regardless, the opening, a 1. It didn't make no sense why she escaped. They don't explain how she escaped, because at the end of the first one, she gets knocked out and she didn't really escape. Finisher, I would say like a 5. It was a pretty good finish. Maybe even like a 6, now that I think about it. The finish was pretty good. Funny, like a 1. And yeah, that's my rating. Unfortunately, not as good as the first one. The first one is like a classic, perfect film almost. The second one, just kinda not there.